I've wanted to see TSM sneaky for a long time. I just don't feel like their current roster is doing a whole lot for them. And I've always been a big fan of C9's, the OG C9 team, you know, back 2014, 2015. So I'd really like to see him turn over to the dark side.
Everyone wants to see Doublelift back on TSM, so I'd love to see that, for sure.
Afromu, go to Team Liquid. I'm really a big fan of the Rush Hour bot lane, so I'd like to see that happen again for sure.
Right now, I'd go for Someday to Team Liquid instead of Impact. I think Someday's been doing really well this season. Impact's been looking a little bit weak. I just think putting like a strong carry top up there could be really good for Team Liquid.
Impact for Huni in Team Liquid. For why? It's because I think he's like more skilled.
It kind of seems like if Doublelift doesn't do it all right now, they're not really winning.
Ole for Smoothie on Team Liquid, even though I love Ole with all my heart. He's been underperforming recently, and with Smoothie in Academy, I think he can really shine on a team like Team Liquid.
Some interesting trade proposals coming from the fans in attendance today at the LCS studios. Welcome back to the NALCS Countdown, where the action starts in just about 13 minutes. On Tuesday, July 24th, teams lock their 10-man rosters and can no longer make trades in summer. So I'm asking Mark and Zyrene to propose trades they think teams should make before the lock, and you're going to help us out with this.
Yeah, absolutely. In chat, you guys will be able to say if you like these trades or not. And so we'll kick things off with my trade. It's the simplest one that I'm going to propose here, and I'm going to pretend to be 100 Thieves. I want to get Levi on the roster somehow, and the way that I'm going to look to do that is by securing a better non-import mid laner. And Palafox is one of the guys who has stood out in the Academy League as a mid laner who's done pretty well. Optic is the team I'm going to approach and try and get from him. They need a top laner. They've been struggling all season between Alorum and Dokla. So you give up Brandini, who's been pretty good actually in Academy. You get Dokla or Alorum, whichever one Optic doesn't really want, and you get Palafox in the trade as well. So hopefully that pushes your lineup to be you have Someday in the top lane, Levi in the jungle with Palafox in the mid lane, Afromu and Cody Sun in the bot lane. And on the flip side, Optic will have Brandini starting on the top side. This is the trade that I would like to see happen. No one in Twitch chat seems to agree.
Hell nah.
I didn't like it, but
a whole bunch of nays coming out of the chat. Zyrene, what are your thoughts on this trade?
My thought is if I'm actually 100 Thieves, I'm going to sit there and go, wait a second. Why am I doing this? Because if I'm Optic, I'm saying, all right, I know that you want to run Levi. Give me something else. You're giving me Someday or Ryu, 100%. You're not trading me Brandini for that.
Well, I mean,
you give me Ryu or Someday, I can use that as a bargaining chip to go get like Shiro or a better top lane.
Okay. Optic's in last place. I don't think that they can really play hardball when it's like you're the one who needs the help. And the thing is with 100 Thieves lineup, and for Optic as well, it's a pretty low commitment trade where neither side is actually giving up resources that currently start on
Yeah, but I'm
team.
making you stronger and you're my competition.
Yeah, but you're in 10th place and I'm in 1st, basically. So how competitive are we already?
Would you consider a trade where Ryu goes over to
I drafted
Optic?
up another one. We don't probably have time for it, but it was one where you were looking more for PoE and Someday being a trade, and then you keep Brandini and you go for a much more aggressive flipping your stars approach, but I don't think that's something 100 Thieves would go for. I think this is actually a pretty realistic trade.
It started to even out there. It was a 40 yay, 60 nay there near the end of it, but overwhelmingly in favor of nixing this trade. So the next scenario is actually proposed by Jat. Of course, Jat is not here, so I'm going to do my best.
Oh, yeah, we got to step back.
I'm going to make my best effort because, of course, Jat has the most convoluted trade in the world. It's a 4-team trade, so get ready for this one. And what you might notice at first is that, holy crap, the Team Liquid lineup is getting blown up. And so let's explain why we're approaching this 4-way trade the way we are. Team Liquid, if you take their performance at MSI and at Rift Rivals to be any indication of how this roster will do at international tournaments, okay, their world's trajectory, not looking good. So this is an effort of just switching things up for the sake of maybe finding a better option as well as improving the rest of these teams. Now let's break it down. 100 Thieves. Same problem we're trying to solve as Mark, where we want to get Levi into the lineup, but we need an NA mid laner to do so to keep Someday in the top lane. So C9 is going to give Golden Glue over to 100 Thieves. C9, they want a new jungler. We're talking about Blabber coming in today. They're trying to find a veteran voice, someone who's solid in the jungle. Well, Team Liquid's going to toss Smithy over to Cloud9. Team Liquid, what are they getting out of all of this since they're giving so much? Well, they're going to take a strong jungle mid duo from Optic and Acadian and Power of Evil, as well as Smoothie. That's the big ticket item here. Somebody to go next to Doublelift in the bot lane who will be maybe a little bit more aggressive, who will also just kind of synergize with the style of player, that personality that Doublelift has, and maybe have a more successful bot lane coming in there, not losing too much in your mid and jungle. And then finally, Optic Gaming.
Nice.
Yeah, they're going to be very happy with this
Jack
one.
really loves Optic. That's what I
Brandini into
learned.
the top lane. We already talked about how he outperforms both Dokla and Alorum in Academy, and so that's a straight upgrade there. Yes, maybe you're taking a small knock in Blabber subbing in, but when you have veteran leadership like Pobelter and Ole coming into the mid lane and support, maybe you index and cover for some of that. So the question to you guys was, who denies this trade?
Team Liquid.
I am not surprised to see 78% of you say that Team Liquid 100% denies this trade, but this would be the overall starting lineups that each of these teams end up with as a result.
And I gotta say, like, I understand if you're a Team Liquid fan why you say no to it. This is very risky, but if you're approaching it from the fact, like, we've been to 2 international competitions, we haven't had any noise that we've made there, and this roster has problems. Pobelter seems to get outclassed by international mid laners who are at the top of their region, and Ole doesn't synergize very well with the rest of the team, seemingly, and you're trying to tackle that problem at the risk of tanking your domestic performance, which I get is scary.
You gotta
really,
make
really
it there,
scary.
the international performances. Acadian hasn't done that yet. And Pobelter has proven that, sure, he could dominate domestically back when he was on CLG, and even making finals when he was with Immortals, and then boom, or even making third, fourth place match when he's on Immortals, and just like, this guy has shown that he can go international. It's just the issue of when he gets there. But we have seen him on CLG MSI finals.
Exactly. Obviously, there are a lot of questions to be raised around this, and it is a nut scenario. Hopefully, I did Jack justice in my explanation of why this should take place. But it seems like most people at home think that TL would be the one to block this trade. That's a 4-way trade. We're kicking it over to Zyrene for the final scenario.
All right. This one's going to be super simple. You take 3 teams, 3-way support swap. What's going to happen is C9 gives Smoothie to TL. TL gives Ole to TSM, and TSM give Mithy to C9.
Okay.
So what the rosters end up looking like is having a support that shores up their current weakness. So C9, right now their weakness is the fact that they don't have good late game shot calling. You have veterans with Jensen and Sneaky who aren't very vocal, but you also have new guys with Licorice and Blabber and even Zazel if you're not running Mithy. So Mithy, that biggest strength is late game shot calling and coordination of the team. That's his selling point. So that would shore up C9's weakness. TL, you get a better laning support with high communication with Double Lift, who I think would make a really good duo and fit into this team. And then TSM, big issue is proactivity. You could say Ole, he's dying left and right with Double Lift, but the only thing you can't really give Ole is that he's not proactive. And TSM fans are constantly saying, TSM, just roll over right now. And they don't do anything proactive. Ole would add to the proactivity. So I think that this makes all 3 teams stronger.
So let's answer this question that you see at the bottom of your screen here. Do all teams benefit from this trade? Right now, the community thinks no. Mark, what are your thoughts?
I mean, just to vocalize some of the community concerns I'm sure they're thinking is that it's a hard trade to get excited for because 2 of the people you're moving are people who are underperforming on their current teams. Mithy hasn't looked great, and you're breaking up the synergy that he has with Sven. Ole and Doublelift don't really synergize, so it's hard for a TSM fan to be like, yeah, I want Ole. And it's hard for a C9 fan to be like, yeah, I want Mithy.
Right. I think Team Liquid's happy in this trade.
Absolutely.
Team Liquid's probably pretty happy with this one, but I think I can see why it doesn't benefit all trade. But it's going more and more in their favor as they heard Zyrene's logic.
Like 2 more things to add to this is Mithy doesn't even have to be the starter, right? Zazel can be in there, and Mithy can be a performance coach and somebody who actually coaches the roster on late game shot calling.
Right.
And then one other thing that I want to add here too is that we're saying that it kind of makes all of them stronger and that 2 people are underperforming. I think the underperformers are kind of underperforming because of a product of their environment, that they aren't synergizing with their team, and I think a change of environment would actually make them shine once again.
I love the idea of Zazel being in with Mithy as a coach behind him. We hear all the time from the Cloud9 guys how vocal this young guy is in Zazel, as well as the way that he links up with Blabber and Licorice, 2 of his academy teammates who have promoted to the LCS stage. So it's an interesting thought. Of course, the teams themselves have to decide.
That's the closest we got.
Oh my goodness, by the end of it all, it was very
close.
much split. So the teams themselves have to decide if they want to do anything, when they want to do it. It's got to be before that 24th mark. Now, as teams figure out how they want to play in the current state of the game, I want to look at some of the picks pros have deemed OP. So we're going to toss Mark over to the telestrator in just a moment. First, we're going to break down Aatrox, the OP of OPs.
Yeah, this guy has kind of come onto the scene very quickly as the omnipotent champion in the game right now, and you see him permaban, and it's because he does so much. You can pick him into pretty much any lane. He wins most matchups, and if you try and build a strategy around him, he's also very flexible. We talked to a couple pro players about why he's always banned, and if you could come up with a strategy against him. And the thing is, you can put him mid, you can put him bottom, and so if you're trying to find this ridiculous effort to counterpick one champion, the clear answer is just ban it. He's this SSS OP, get it off the map champion.
Yeah, he's a ranged melee champion with sustain. So Wave clear is
CC.
also a big part of his kit too.
Yeah.
So he's
got
very
it
hard
all.
to deal with.
What were the statistics? It's 150
Yeah, 156 bans
across the 5 major regions.
5 major regions on 8-13, and then he got picked 15 times, and he's won 12 of those games. So an 80% win rate champion with a ton of bans.
That's already nearly perma-banned?
Yeah, probably.
Just keep it banned. So, with that off the table, we're going to go ahead and move to what are kind of looked at as the most OP picks behind the Aatrox, Nocturne and Zoe. And to break this one down, Mark's going to walk over to the telestrator and help us out.
There's a very important interaction here I want to take a look at between the two champions. So we're going to pull up Zoe's ranges on her abilities. These are her RQ combo, which is the basic way that she plays out team fights. And if you take a look at this, there's the RQ range combined together to show roughly how far it is. It can go even further if you walk around and really min-max it. But basically, you hop in there, you shoot your Q, you doink someone from far away, and it's very hard for the enemy team to react to it. Now, the problem against Nocturne is his ultimate denies vision range. So, when you look at how it actually plays out, if we roll this clip, you'll see that when Nocturne drops his ult in a team fight, Zoe can't actually see what she's shooting at. She's shooting completely blind, she pops forward, and guess what? The guy's not there anymore. You look at the E range through walls, you look at the RQ range, the fact that Nocturne at 6 can just hop on her and try and shut her down. It becomes very hard to play Zoe into Nocturne. And so while it's very easy to understand why Aatrox is broken, there's actually a little bit more subtlety in why you don't see people trying to trade Nocturne and Zoe after that, meaning that you must ban Aatrox because he's broken, and you need to ban Nocturne on red side because you can't trade effectively.
All right, so I'm on red side. I have to ban Aatrox because OP. As you just mentioned, I have to ban the Nocturne for fear of that pick going over as well, which leaves me with one remaining ban. So my question now is, in this kind of pigeonholed state, is there a different approach that teams could be taking to pick ban right now that maybe hasn't been considered, in particular from red side?
I kind of just think blue side is in control of that, because if they don't ban Rakan, they leave Xayah Rakan up. If they don't ban Talia, they can like pinch you to ban Zoe or force you to ban Talia. So blue side has a lot of control here, and I haven't thought of anything where you can really kind of win it unless you know Heimerdinger Fiddlesticks and Xayah Rakan, and they can only ban really one of those, and they can't split up the other.
Right, but Mark, so often when we talk about overpowered picks and champions, like the solution for years has been, well, just don't ban anything, right? Take a trade. Fine, we give up the Aatrox, but maybe we get Nocturne and Zoe or some other priority.
Right, there was the Camille, Rengar, LeBlanc stage where all three were broken. You saw FlyQuest leaving those up when Hai was on the team. Here, they're so stratified in their power levels where like Aatrox is just so far above everyone, you can't leave that up one bam. That means that now Nocturne and Zoe you're looking at, well, we talk about how blue side's just going to take the Nocturne, so you can't pick the Zoe, or if you do, you're severely disadvantaged, so you ban that one as well. And so you have like the SSS, the S, and then a bunch of things in the A tier.
Right.
And it makes it so it's so hard to try and leave multiple ones up because you always end up behind on red side.
So, yeah, pick ban disadvantage for red side means it's more about execution within the game to come away with a victory. We got a minute to go in front of that game one, so I want to take a look at predictions for the day. Let's fly those up. We still got Jat's predictions in, even though he's sick.
No, he's a Team Liquid.
Hey!
And Zyrene completely aligns with Jat there, but
who needs Jat? We got Zyrene.
Yeah, we got a couple unique differences though in games 2 and games 4. We got the Team Liquid versus Cloud9 matchup and the CLG versus Golden Guardians matchup. Let's talk about Team Liquid C9. You got faith in Cloud9 with Blabber coming in.
Yeah, I believe in Blabber. I think that he'll be able to fix a lot of their issues because they were getting those advantages not because of Sven, but they were losing the game because of Sven Scarin's plays in terms of rotating around.
I'm super confident in my CLG pick now that I see Jat didn't agree with me.
Yeah, it's locked in.
Yeah,
don't even have to play that game
I know
anymore.
I'm good. Yeah,
right. Yeah, 100% CLG. That's one win or one tick in the win column for Mark. But 15 seconds to go. It's time for us to throw it out to the battle arena so the guys can bring us into game one.
Thank you very much, Dash. Hello and welcome to the Battle Arena for the beginning of Week 5 of the North American LCS Summer Split. My name is David Freak Turley. My co-caster here, Sam Kobe Hartman-Kensler. Welcome to the caster desk. How you doing?
Great. I'm feeling pretty free.
As all North Americans should when referencing League of Legends. But the audience is ready to clap, the players are ready to clap each other, and I'm ready to cast some League of Legends. First place teams on the docket, 5 and 3, both these records here. Echo Fox, the third place finisher from Spring, 100 Thieves, finalists from the last split as well. Both teams have a great trajectory going towards Worlds.
Dude, that was hype. Did they plan that? I feel like we don't usually do that.
What happened? I didn't see it.
The audience.
Oh, yeah, they were like awesome. You guys were amazing. As always,
I mean, as should
shout
be,
out NALCS audience.
These are two of our first place teams going head to head right now. And as we keep on bringing up,
both of them, want to represent North America at Worlds. And this is going to go a long way in getting there. Aatrox and Nocturne, the analyst deck predicted.
Yep.
Those are mandatory bans. The other one that we've been seeing a lot is either Talia or Zoe, whichever one blue side has not banned. Zoe is the one that has been let through here, and that's a possible early pick, which, by the way, is the way that 100 Thieves' 5-game win streak came to an end. Golden Guardians Mickey picked up the Zoe, contracts camped mid for him, and he went like legendary. I think he was 8-0 at one point, ended 8-1, but it was a big Zoe beating there, and a lot of focus against Ryu in the mid lane from the jungler as well.
And of course, 100 Thieves willing to give that away because they would rather not deal with Dardoch's Graves. Dardoch probably has been the best performing Echo Fox player so far this split. You'd expect coming in it would be
counting Rift Rivals too?
Yeah, especially counting Rift Rivals. I think that was kind of a 1v5 tournament right there. But someday picking up, or at least locking in Rakan for Aframu, and we will see if they're going to lock in the Xayah alongside that. And indeed, 100 Thieves will. Now, this can still be a funnel game for Cody's son, of course, or just going to the bot lane.
Yeah, it's been mentioned before, right, that a lot of 100 Thieves wins were funnel, and funneling specifically Cody. Xayah is the premier duo right now for funnel, and talking to a lot of the teams, they much prefer this duo because Xayah and Rakan can so quickly amp each other's damage to clear jungle monsters, get back to the lane very quickly. Her ultimate keeps her safe, and she actually doesn't have to wait super long to scale up. She can have an impact really early on, unlike some of the other longer scaling funnels. Meanwhile, though, on the opposite side here, Morgana has been another highly prized pick. Black Shield, incredibly important in the current state of the game.
Yeah, Morgana, a top 10 champion overall and competitive right now based on pick and ban rate. Trundle going to be going alongside, so Dardoch on a slightly less volatile, aggressive jungler. Of course, Trundle still has very good dueling overall, just definitely not Graves tier for taking over a game. Echo Fox going to save their bot lane marksman or bot lane whatever pick for Altec and their top laner for their second round of picks here. As 100 Thieves going to lock in a Vladimir, likely going over to Ryu in the mid lane.
Well, yeah, I mean, Cody's son has tried the Vladimir. That was one of the games that at the beginning of the season that we used kind of as the poster for poorly transitioned marksmen over to mages. However, we have seen a lot of the players who had bad early starts on the mages make up a lot of ground, right? Altec, I think, had a bad early showing on the Vladimir, and it has become one of his favorite champions he talked about.
What's interesting is if this was the with Meteos 100 Thieves, I'd almost expect Ryu plus Meteos bot lane with like Vladimir plus X, and they'd run down to that lane, and you have like the Cody Sun funnel in the mid. So I actually still don't know which lane the Vladimir is playing in, if it's a standard 2-on-2 bot lane with Ryu in mid, or a funneled mid lane with Ryu bot lane on the Vlad.
And if you remember last week for 100 Thieves, I actually had Anda on the Rakan doing the funnel part from the jungle as well.
Oh, right.
And Prawley gave an interview afterwards where he talked about certain things that Anda has opened up for them. Actually, he also gave a little anecdote on how to say the name. He says Anda
because his name is Andy.
Because his name is Andy, so I'm going to try and stick to that, even though
so
actually many people have taken the kind of like high road pronunciation of Anda, which sounds very pretentious.
Well, speaking of high road pronunciations, of course, Echo Fox's support here technically would be Feng, but everyone calls him Feng, so we're going to go ahead and use the words that his teammates do. But FYI, yeah, there's high road pronunciation, and I'm not going to say Svenskaren anymore. I will say Svenskaren like everyone else because I'm no longer as dumb. Either way, second phase of bans have gone away. Pyke and Soraka removed on the Echo Fox side. They actually expect it to be a funneling support jungle mid whatever Rakan with a sort of real support in the bottom lane. Of course, you're seeing conventional marksman bans on the 100 Thieves side. No Varus, no Lucian for Altec.
Yeah, and I think that would be an accurate assumption considering the history of 100 Thieves that we did go over. And in any case, it is probably going to be that support Shen from the bottom side. Shen works so well in setting up a lot of CC combos, and it's going to give you more freedom. If your funnel composition wants to get aggressive and have the duo, especially like a Rakan, if you've got a Shen ultimate on top of the Rakan, that really strengthens the engage.
And Echo Fox going to semi-blind pick the Gangplank. They know Shen can go top. GP should be a decent answer into it. And oh, please do this.
Oh, do it.
Please do this.
Ribbon is actually good against Gangplank because you can try and all-in him early. But if it's a funnel composition, you don't get jungle support. So a lot of times I caution against taking top lane matchups that can be easily swung by jungler intervention when you're running a funnel composition. I feel like that's why they kind of backed out. Size from the crowd. But Darius still can have kill pressure on a gangplank. It's just that you really have to do interesting things if it turns out that it is funnel composition.
Yeah, it looks like River Shen right here, potentially as sort of the quasi-jungle pick. Cody's the only one running Smite right now. I am a little surprised, though, to see Darius on the funneling team. He's a champion with no escape tools on his own, and hard 1v2 in Gangplank Trundle seems difficult, whereas Riven could at least try to get away to the gank coming in. So either way, 100 Thieves and probably thought this is the right choice for them, but I am surprised.
Yeah, I mean, Darius does have a lot of individual power in the current state of the game. However, your weakness that you're pointing out for him is huge, especially against a Trundle. The pillar is not that effective against a lot of champions that do have jumps, right? And you don't consider Trundle like a heavy ganking champion. But against things like Darius, you only have your flash, and the pillar can get a lot of mileage. Not only the kind of small mini knockback, but as well huge work done from the slow.
Yeah, walking on the pillar is super difficult. One other thing I want to point out, by the way, Dr. Mundo undrafted in this game. We are still on 8.13, so the Mundo nerfs and the other nerfs in 8.14 are not in yet in this one. But yeah, Dr. Mundo unpicked at all. The quasi-blind Gangplank, I think part of that, sort of one of the good picks into Dr. Mundo, and that was the best blind that Echo Fox could come up with there. Huni is on a carry Trundle. We'll see if Dota can support him very well in this one. We heard their coach talk about Huni needing a little bit more help so that he can pop off in these games. But we are ready to go. Echo Fox versus 100 Thieves, ready to rock a battle over first place in the North American LCS, and we are ready to go into the game.
Top of the standings, baby. All right, we have one sweeper picked up. This is what I've been tracking in a lot of the early games here. I really like to see at least one person picking up the sweeper, usually the jungler, so that you can sweep any of these early wards, try and get an early experience bonus for one of your laners. Your solo laners are probably make the best use of it because they can hit level 2 on the first wave. And Dardoch is the only guy here on the field right now that does have a sweeper, but 100 Thieves have more people on the top side. And they might try something a little bit sneaky here as they might pull a pincer movement on Huni.
Shen on the one side, walked into the other three. He's going to get hit up. He's going to flash the wall, and not quite going to land that one over. That one is Anda, walking right back out. So Anda is going to be the mid lane support of Rakan. It is going to be Aframu playing a dedicated bot lane. So just like last time we saw this, they are kind of playing to those lanes. And we'll see as they switch around back and forth over time. But yeah, Cody-san going to play that mid lane Xayah. Funnel Xayah with Ryu in the bot lane Vladimir.
And again, I like that some of the teams have settled into this sort of a swap. Ryu is a mage player. He's been playing mages for years and years and years. He's a great Vladimir. Put him on the Vladimir and just put him bottom with Aframu. Those guys can work it out. Meanwhile, Cody-san has looked by far the best on Marksman. And he's going to have a lot of extra gold with this funneling strategy. You want to start on the red. Anda's going to go try and catch those minions so he does not miss out on any of them. Smite is used on the first one. And just as they get to the turret, he's actually going to miss all of the melees.
Yeah, and that is 60 gold straight up lost right there. So that is actually a non-trivial amount of money he no longer has in his pockets. The XP went solo experience over to Anda there. And now Dardoch, slightly missed his blast cone. Didn't quite learn that vector, but going to have no problems taking over that part of the jungle. So far, though, Dardoch has not counter-jungled too terribly much. This blue buff steal, of course, will help a little.
Yeah, and they did have wards on it, so they know that he's taking out this blue quadrant. That's why we see the double Cody-san and movement here over to the Scuttle Crab. They're just going to move on up, grab that one, and they might be able to go for a buff as well before going back. It looks like they're not going to, as they want to fully shove in this wave onto Monte before they head back to the blue quadrant for some more farm.
Shoving in the lane, Dardoch waiting around the wings. Now it is level 3 right here for both these. They could go for the play. The knockup's going to be there right in front of turret range. Monte does land the Drowsy. How good's the damage going to be? Lands a bit there. Exhaust on the Trundle. Is that even the right target? The Cody-san ignited. The flash over for DeMonte. Easy kill picked up. 400 gold richer. And Anda now has to run away. Burns the flash. W should be up fairly soon, but not in time. The gank in the mid lane. The timing off the level 3 mid laner. And Echo Fox 2-0 at the very start.
Dardoch lays down the hammer here early on, even though they know he's in the blue quadrant.
Oh, he can get more. That's no! That is the worst Trundle play I have ever seen. Dardak misses a pillar on a recalling target.
All right. You've definitely seen a Trundle kill themselves before.
Yeah, you're right. All right.
That was
bottom half.
That was one where you just kind of turned the camera away and nothing happened there. At least nothing negative happened for them.
I consider opportunity cost a negative, Kobe.
That's fair enough. Anyways, fully misses the pillar here after taking out the funnel duo. Let's go back to a happier time for Echo Fox.
Yeah.
This is an Echo Fox success story where it's really mostly about the sleepy trouble bubble that Damonte lands to set this up, right? That allows Dardark to walk up right next to him, get the slow from the bite, and an easy cleanup there for Damonte, able to grab the first kill.
Yeah.
That one, I'm pretty sure that is a reaction to the whiffing his Trundle pillar. But he's actually back mid, and they're going to try and take advantage of this flash.
Okay, there's a nice pillar. Bubble's going to land for sure. Here comes the Q chain. The Ignite is on. Cody's time to drop again. 0-2 in 4 minutes. His mid lane camp is going beautifully.
That's what you like to see when there's a jungler who's known for being proactive against the funnel composition. Woo. Just back-to-back ganks here for Dardark in the mid lane. Gets slight demerits for the top lane miss, but Someday on the top side actually still holding on to his flash and getting away there. No teleport, so if he goes and he completes this recall, he's going to miss out on a lot of minions as Huni on the gangplank, once again having a very strong game for himself, and he's got full pressure.
And Dardark doesn't have to be afraid of anything, of course. You can see the entire bot lane stuck under the turret. There is no actual jungler, so Dardark can continue to counter jungle and steal camps. But like, he is a jungler out farming the funnel.
Yeah, I mean,
they're smashing.
It's a little bit one-sided here, where most people inherently dislike funnel compositions. So they kind of root for the standard team.
There's a pillar. There's this, like, that's a nice play though, right? Rakan tanks it up, uses the little drowsy time to jump away.
I mean, that's what they should almost always be doing, because Rakan has the mobility. Xayah not level 6 and used the flash early on, so Cody's son has no escapes. Dardark though, just on a warpath here, camping for Damonte. Just like I said in Champ Select Freak, Zoe picked early. This happened to 100 Thieves last week. It was a Zoe pick for Golden Guardians. Contracts also camped mid, and they were able to get the victory here.
That trade looks so good for Someday, and then he lost half his health anyway. Huni is just actually bashing this lane right now. He's got about a 7 CS lead. He's got the shove going in as well.
Yeah.
And this has been without most jungle help as well.
And one of the changes that we see, oh, never mind.
Flash going for the play, and the boss had a flash to land the best of it as well. And that's already one kill. Fang running away, and well, too bad his lane mate is already dead. Nice play in the bot lane. 100 Thieves finds something on the board.
Oh, the Shen setting it up. Really nice move there from Aframu. Taunt flashes, and Ryu gets his full channel off. Vladimir damage comes through, getting a kill back, and they really need an area on the map where they're being successful right now. So 100 Thieves, bottom side is going to be their focus. Meanwhile, Dardark still looking here up on the top side. Huni has been just bullying Someday with this grasp on gangplank. And the full-on jungle advantage.
Look at that one. But yeah, this is a huge advantage. And Someday forced off his turret. He's level 5, Gangplank is 6, and he's getting no experience at all. Afro coming to help. They can spot him now. There is no flash. This is going to be a pretty easy taunt. Pillar stops up most of it, and the taunt goes a bit short. So Huni is on the run, and Damonte's here to join in as well. Now it's fight over the red buff as that fight has stopped out. But okay, Cody Sun's in range. Higher level for a bigger smite. It's going to be a battle for this. Who's going to pick this one up as it comes across? I'll just come in. There's a red buff, a nice taunt as well. They could knock down Dardark. He's taking a lot of damage over the wall. He goes in the Aframu.
Aframu is just everywhere right now. Huni, though, under attack.
Got to be careful. Level 6, the dunk comes in. And actually just hit it a little bit too early. Dunk forward. Auto gets the middle. Someday wins the fight, though, and suddenly 100 Thieves has tied up the scoreboard.
Damn, this one is an action-packed game we've got on our hands here, Freak. 7.5 minutes into the game, 6 kills on the board, and 100 Thieves are not going to take this one lying down. Aframu, he gets the kill on the bottom side, then he immediately roams up the top side to try and take control of this game, and that's what you like to see from veterans. Our spring split MVP trying to make some early game plays.
We finally get to take some counter jungling out there as well, so only an 800 gold difference in a game that started out 3-0. Really nice taunt flash, really good roam by Afro. Someday won his duel. That pick now starting to make a bit more sense as we watched them fight it out earlier on. We've got a real game on our hands here. Battle for first place. You'd expect nothing less.
I really liked that duel between Someday and Huni afterwards as well, as we were so much talk about those two top laners. But it all started in the jungle, where Aphromoo was able to turn the numbers in 100 Thieves' favor, and they finally put a stop to Dardoch and his early advantages that he was creating. Then the Huni versus Someday duel here. Someday does have the fully stacked passive there, so even though he's only hitting him with the handle of the, well, in this case, it's a basketball hoop.
Yeah.
He still had enough damage just hitting him with the post there because of the fully stacked passive, just affording so much ridiculous AD. Huni did play it pretty well, trying to stay on the inside, but loses out by the smallest of margins. In the meantime, bottom side, there you go. Tower gonna go down, and this is first tower bonus gold.
There's $600 into the pocket of Altec, another 200 spread across the rest of the team for that.
Summoner's Rift has transitioned to USD, I guess, for their currency.
We're in America, it's how it works. It's euros over in the EU LCS. It's surprisingly worth a lot less when you kill them in Vietnam and Korea. You get 600 won, and it's like, why? That's okay. That joke didn't go very well. Either way, 1,900 gold separation here. Echo Fox have moved back to the gold standard. We're going back in time.
Economic jokes, not all the rage right now,
Fiat
buddy.
currency, not exciting for the commentators. So that's all right. Blue is going to go over to Demonte, though, who has now started several games in a row now for Echo Fox. Another roster change we didn't really talk about too terribly much, but I believe it's now 3 in a row for him. And so far looking quite good on this Zoe. Beneficiary of some ganks in the early game. And redemption, some minions.
Yeah, I mean, there has been so much action that we should go over, like, the points of power for this game right now, right? Even though the bottom lane did get killed there, Altec, huge amount of CS. We haven't seen, like, a ton of success from the Echo Fox bottom lane, and they were notorious last split for getting a lot of flack when Echo Fox's losses, but they've done really well here as far as the farming goes, at least in the early stages. And honestly, most of summer split too, right? They've picked it up quite a bit, and not really that big weakness that we've talked about so much over the history of the team for these guys. Now, you know, he's got his Sheen. He's trying to stack up and transform the Muramana, and they've already rotated them up top side because of the turret takedown bottom side. Gives them a lot of momentum to work with here as far as forcing down objectives.
Yeah, I really do want to kind of spend some time talking about the Echo Fox dual lane because it's also keeping in mind Feng starting here in the bot lane. It was Altec Agent for a while. Feng coming in midway through this split, so it's actually an Echo Fox who have switched 2 players from their 3rd place spring split roster. Right, Demonte coming in, putting in some work, and Feng as well. And this is, again, a duo that, got first turret. Yes, 1 kill given away, but pretty positive things right there. And if Echo Fox actually have strong players and strong roles all across the map, that is a much better look for the team. No longer the Dardoch and Huni show, absolutely, and definitely a team that can threaten later on in this split and as they move on towards the postseason.
Yeah, and of course it is, you know, Ezreal Morgana, notorious poke lane.
True.
Very strong if you're landing your skill shots. Right now they're getting Predatored on though.
He's swift, and actually R's late on the damage output, so doesn't get a whole lot done. They're going to still walk in towards Feng, but no kills coming through. Altec stays alive for that one after flashing away, but now a Rift Herald charge in the mid lane is almost certainly going to be the turret falling as Anda's far enough away, and a quick swipe's going to knock down that turret. So 2-0 turret score, still equaling kills. Echo Fox well ahead, 2,500.
Yep, and Huni's heading back down bottom side to soak up all these minions. It actually makes it very scary for Darius. Now that he's had to lane swap back after the bottom turret is gone, you mentioned he doesn't have any escapes for himself, and would have to rely on his flash. So Someday has to play this particularly well, keeping track of the enemy players. And right now, he's actually trying to get very aggressive on Huni. Under the turret, goes for the trade. Doesn't get the heal back on his Q either.
Yeah, Huni actually cutting away just barely. I think if he lands the auto attack, he gets move speed out of his passive and able to use that to run away from Someday and get out of the range. Also, I want to point out he is running Grasp on Gangplank and not the standard Kleptomancy. That's going to give him more health, make him more survivable against those Darius one-on-ones. I think it's actually a very good choice to run Resolve against a quasi-assassin, if you want to call Darius that, to survive.
No. No, don't call him an
He has 800 true damage. Is that not an assassin ability?
Didn't we have a very large rework around, I believe it was called Juggernauts? Freak?
All right. Well, surviving a burst Juggernaut.
Nice.
All right, that's going to work for you? Thanks, Kobe. All right. Either way, the wards drop off, and Echofox going to hope to knock down the final outer turret. The top one at about 56%. Oddly specific number, but he's going to try to work that one down a little bit lower. Alltech and Fang push in towards... Yeah, and it is going to be pretty hard to wave clear against this, of course. Shen can walk up for stacks, but not the same kind of push power that, as you mentioned, Ezreal Morg can do. 60 gold earned as they put down a ward, and this is going to be wave clear. Pitting back and forth. The duos we used to see in the mid lane.
And it's continually becoming a more and more dangerous, well, let's take a look at this 2v2.
All right, they're going for the big player here. TV's coming in as well, though. Shen shows up. This could be a very scary battle as now Fang is here as well, and Aftermoon's days might be numbered. Pops a stopwatch to buy some time. His taunt should still be on cooldown. Gets bound up, and now into the back line they go. Look for the burst damage across. Fang getting pulled back into the team. Pulled a second time, and a stopwatch stops the dunk, but they could come back for a bit more. Someday gets one. Looking for the next one, but no, killed off in time. He doesn't get a second dunk out here. And as Demonte shows up at the 2-for-1 as Echofox win the fight.
Oh, what a ridiculous collapse here. And in the end, Echofox are going to get the push afterwards. Because they've taken down all these turrets, they have so much more room to work with. Everybody heads down to the bottom lane, though. They're going to chase Cody Sun and...
Ooh, almost. Spell Thief Flash does not quite land that one. Cody Sun staying alive, but this is still a 2 versus 3 to certain degrees. TV coming back, they're going for the big play, looking to knock down Demonte into 500 HP for the trade back towards Cody Sun. Can they get the trade? Looks like no. Dardoch still trying to make this one happen, and he's just going to get himself killed. Takes a bite at a crime and gets taken down all the same. End result, 100 Thieves now coming out ahead, and now look at the backline kills. They picked up 3 in the back end of this one. Looking for number 4. Huni is not got anywhere to go. He's flashless. Doesn't have the damage. The knockup's gonna be there, making 4 in a row. 100 Thieves in the TP play. Answer right back.
Oh, 100 Thieves more coordinated here in the answer. Someday with the apprehend on Huni over the wall to bring him back into the pit and grab another kill for themselves. Remember, 100 Thieves are still down in gold, a couple thousand here, but this gives them the time to be able to take an objective. A Mountain Drake will put a lot of work in later, plus they've got a bunch of work they need to do on turrets if they want to get back within striking distance of total gold.
Mountain Drake on the board. 100 Thieves only 1,300 behind. Spellbinder's Orb just completed on Ryu. We can watch this gigantic fight once again.
Starts off with a 1v1. Immediately, though, turns into a 2v2 with the Shen ult and the Morgana teleport used. Then we have ultimate here from Fang, forces a stopwatch from Afromu. Becomes a 3v2 when Anda comes in. He's able to land the quickness and initially force out the W from Huni and another stopwatch, this one from Fang. They delay, but immediately Someday gets taken down afterwards, so he doesn't get to use all the stacks that he's been able to proc, and it's 2 kills over Echofox, but then there's more teleports left. Ryu still has his on the Vladimir, so he comes in for 100 Thieves. He has the Predator. He immediately takes out Demonte before Alltech can answer with his own teleport, and Dardoch's on the full-on chase there. That's one of the things that you see from some Echofox games where they get really, I feel like they have their own kind of blood boil that's going on, and they get super drawn into the action, chasing a little bit deep. In the end, Huni also does pay the price there for that over chase. They get a little tunnel vision, and Someday was able to come in on the other side to get the extra pull and another kill for themselves. Still, though, Echofox do have the overall gold lead. They've got Trinity Force completed now on Huni, and they do have a decent advantage as far as the territory on the map as well.
Yes, they do. So look at the scoreboard once again. It's the 2,000 gold differences. 100 Thieves are pushed in some lanes and back in the others. Someday is actually up against the turret. He's actually pushing Huni away. You can see the mini-map. Has to hide back from this and give a lot more respect over as Trinity Force in a 3-in-1 scoreline, or most of Trinity Force, I should say, in the 3-in-1 scoreline, makes Someday a fair bit threatening. They're going to trade farm back and forth, though, for now. I do want to point out, by the way, that it is a Predator Vladimir for Ryu, which we see mostly electrocute, but this lets him do plays like this, something he's behind Alltech, channels the E, flashes in, lands the R a little bit later. This could be an absolute ton of damage. Shen showing up as well, and it's the delivery service as Afromu now on his 3rd kill. They are finding dives.
The Predator was actually super common on a lot of mid lane Vladimirs, and Ryu's just taking it down to the bottom lane here. Multiple plays being pulled off. It's super good if you're using it wisely, right? A lot of the reason why you don't see as high win rates for runes like that in solo queue is that people just don't use them optimally because it is an active. But some pretty good uses here already for Ryu. Top side, though, is going to be answered by Echo Fox. Fang is up there. Dardoch is also up there, and they see him on a ward, so 100 Thieves will just give up their last outer turret. At least, though, in exchange for themselves, they were able to get the bottom one and some gold.
And 100 Thieves able to push in for this red buff as well with their pressure on the bottom side of the map, so this now means only a 1,000 gold difference. A fresh red buff on Cody Sun, and they are certainly once again within striking distance here. Echo Fox leading in turrets, 100 Thieves leading in kills. The funnel on this Xayah has certainly caught up now. 220 farm on Cody Sun. That's pretty much standard Uzi game numbers, but you can see 8,200 gold on him. He is the richest man on Summoner's Rift. And that's, of course, important for the funnel champion.
It is important for the funnel champion. You did also mention next patch, on live patch 8.14, there are nerfs to the funnel coming in.
Yeah, that'll change the game a lot.
It's actually more far-reaching than I thought initially, too, because I played a game last night. Evelyn, I was only 2-0-2. I only had 2 kills.
But
and
you
it
were
was at like 5 minutes. Yeah, and then I tried to push the wave after double killing bottom lane. Only got 4 gold off these minions. So
casters, yeah.
even without being a funnel, I think that is actually going to have a decent effect. So it'll be interesting to see if teams like 100 Thieves continue with the strategy and they find just a new adaptation for it. Because look, you know, it's very successful for them, right? They're only 1,000 gold behind, even though they have 2 extra turrets that they could theoretically pick up to come back for this. And Cody's Sun, as you mentioned, he's got 2 items. He's got a Quicksilver for himself for some extra safety here. So 100 Thieves poised right now to make a comeback in this game and try and turn it in their favor.
Let's see if he can survive those plays. It's very interesting that he did actually stop by for a Quicksilver Sash just because he's already got his ultimate to kind of react to trouble bubbles or react to Morgana bindings, but really valuing his own safety, and I can't say it's wrong, just an interesting choice. Someday gonna battle up with Huni. Nice damage at the very beginning. Triggers his extra as well. Yeah, pulls him right back in. A lot of damage here. Has the 5 stack. Ults for 1,000,000 damage. And just lands him with the Q. That is a great kill out for Someday. Nice attempt there for Anda to show up. Either way, a solo kill for Someday is a big deal.
Yeah, there was a cooldown used here for Anda as he also popped the quickness. Didn't quite know that Someday was going to flash for that. Maybe a little bit of communication could have saved a small ultimate cooldown there. Regardless, though, the kill does give them some more control of the map. Ryu pushing top side. Someday is at the turret on bot.
Demonte goes for the big Q burst, going to knock down most of these minions and keep that turret alive. But the 100 Thieves split push starting to work really well when Someday finds kills like that. He went for the counter pick, I should say. Didn't have any jungle help. Actually got ganked a couple times by Dardoch, but at the end of the day, he is now really winning his matchup. And Ryu's split push working nicely as well. That's going to be another turret falling down. 100 Thieves have tied up this scoreline. In fact, they sometimes lead by 100 gold. So really, really nice on the mid game, coming back from a very rough start.
Yeah, I mean, it's only 21 minutes into the game, but we already kind of have to go back and look at how this all started because there were so many different stages where there was a lot of action in this game, and a big part of it was Aframu taking the Shen, taking some initiation into his own hands, roaming up to the top side, getting that side for 100 Thieves going, and then them just performing well in skirmishes. All right, Bubble does hit. Just a recon, though, pretty far out.
And they're going to look for Dardoch, but not going to find the knockup. They will not get the charm either. Now across the wall, big burst coming through for Demonte. True Shot Barrage hurts him as well. This is going to be 100 Thieves forced to run away. Ryu on the flank, though, could be a big risk.
Afro.
How good's his burst going to be? Cody Sun very low in health, though. With the main carry out of this fight, I don't think it's going to be a team fight 100 Thieves can go for. So the wave got cleared, and a new wave's coming in to push the turret.
Predator also used by Ryu just to try and roam up to that fight. Someday has been winning these 1v1s with Huni, scares him off here at the turret, and Echo Fox trying to collect themselves. Actually, they just start out the Baron. 100 Thieves have Cody Sun in base, but he's heading out.
All right, looking over at the wall. No vision, finally puts a ward down. No controls in the pit, so it's actually full vision here, and Vlad's going to be asleep. Big chunk of damage comes across, pops the ulti, goes in for a big bunch of damage, and he'll stay alive through a Stand United. Ulti times out, but the fight continues on. 100 Thieves and Echo Fox both kiting back, but a big chunk down towards Aframu.
That was a stopwatch activation for Ryu, so he's going to want to try and upgrade that one and complete the Zonias next, because very important to have that utility as far as your teamfight phase goes there. You can see how much healing came in from his ultimate after he was able to wait out during the duration. Luckily for him, he's almost done with this Zonia's recipe anyway. 100 Thieves, though, will just move from the Baron area, though, and they still get Echo Fox the Elder Dragon. So that is going to be 1-1 for Mountain Dragon for both of these teams, and they're going to put a little bit more speed on their Baron killing attempts.
That's true, and Baron killing going to be pretty quick on both sides, I feel like. As far as if they get some uncontested time, I think there's a really high DPS squad in either composition.
That's why we have so many kills.
That's true, yeah. A lot of damage, only a couple of tanks. Trundle basically the only one on the one side, and Shen, and you can maybe consider Darius in the other, although Darius going for a very aggressive build. He's got a BF sword and a stopwatch. That could be an early Guardian Angel, I guess.
Yeah, what was your term? A burst Juggernaut? Is the way that Someday likes to play
a burst Juggernaut. I mean, Darius ults for 800 true damage. I don't see any other way of calling it that.
Definitely true.
Yeah, scary stuff right there. Giant Axe. Sad to see he's not using the skin, though. That's a bit unfortunate. I think that is a huge misplay, and you should be ashamed of yourself.
I like his skin. Thank you very much.
Yeah, well, it's not legendary.
It's the dunk, people.
Okay, yeah, but it's not God King Darius, who, by the way, shout out, won the competition. So all hail God King Darius.
Well, that's interesting.
Yeah. Yeah. We have 3 Darius players in the audience cheered for them. Apparently, NA was all Garen-sided. This is why we're the worst region.
Relax, buddy. You need to calm down. Like, I don't even know what the last 3 points you made.
You're right. You're right.
Fire.
All right. I'm moving back. I'm going to calm down. There's a 1,000 gold lead for Echo Fox, and they're pushing into the mid lane. Someday, the Dunk Master himself, 4-1-1, has the info on how he's going to kill people.
All right.
It's going to be slam dunks.
Keep your eyes on the Dunk Master then. Actually, Ryu is flanking around here on the Vladimir. On the backside, he does have his Predator ready, and Zhonya's, as you said, completed.
Oof. Someday is down to half. Nice pool, gets under the bind, but they might go for the pillar.
Doc.
Gets the slow, pillar's gonna land, forcing the flash out of Ryu. That is nicely played, though they burned several summoners, and let's health bars off 100 Thieves.
Yeah, that's a lot of control here for Echo Fox. They didn't kill anyone, but they got a large health lead as well as a bunch of cooldowns there, and 100 Thieves are gonna have to heal and get back out onto Mac. Luckily for them, they have a lot of deep vision here in the jungle, but none inside Baron. So Echo Fox, with that Mountain Drake, are going to try and force their hand once again.
Down from a 4,000 gold lead, but still looking at the Baron setup here as Echo Fox. And this time around, though, they've given up control of the mid lane waves. They're going to be second to the play as Cody Sun shoves it in. Look at a bit of fire here. Pops the W, looks for some damage output, respects the bind, and doesn't quite. And it takes some damage. Dodge zone comes in. Big chunk comes through to Monse. A little bit of respect maybe needed on the 100 Thieves side. They're getting poked out. The Zoe doing a great job at playing for control. Death Cap completed. A very, very scary poke champion. Ryu, as you mentioned, as you saw, waiting in the wings.
Slowly, too. The longer we wait in mid here for Echo Fox, the more work Someday does on the bottom side. 100 Thieves are the ones with the advantage right now because
He's
there's
got
split
no
pushing.
flash. That pillar's going to buy some time, cools away, and Rakan going to look in, but it's through a black shield. Dardoch stays totally safe here. Will there be a re-engage that works? Bot lane tier 2 has died, and 100 Thieves secure the 4v5 advantage. Turret falls in the split push.
Yeah, the 4-man squad here is just trying to waste Echo Fox time, and it's working. Someday gets a whole turret. Now he's at the inhibitor turret, and Huni has to walk his way down there to answer.
The Fox losing control. This one, the game back to tied. Again, they were up 4K at about 12 minutes. They've lost a lot of that lead now, and that's 100 Thieves, I think, doing very, very good work in this mid-game, splitting with Someday. He's been an absolute stellar performer, probably the best performing Thief on that side of being 4-1. He's doing it again in this game as well. Does kite back, goes back to somewhere else on the map. We'll see what can happen yet as Baron Vision's mostly dropped away. In fact, the only wards in that river right now belong to 100 Thieves. Echo Fox losing control of this game.
Ooh, I like these completions though. Oh, never mind, we have a sleep.
And that's a big chunk of damage. On is gonna burn down! And falls. Demonte solo kills him.
All right, that is huge. Echo Fox now starting up the Baron. That's gonna probably force a teleport from Someday. He does have it available.
All right, this is the big play. 4v5. Vlad gonna be TPing late. He's actually still 3 seconds away. Baron at 1/3 HP. He's gonna show up pretty soon. Ta on the front line. Pretty big damage going across Fang. Running out of health. He should be burning down, and he will. Ryu gets the first one. Now here comes the rest. All take very low on health. The trade and the chase comes through. Cody Sun secures as the Zoe falls as well. And in a 4 versus 500 Thieves win a team fight.
disaster there for Echo Fox. 100 Thieves are going to wipe them right now. Someday still on the chase for Hoodie.
Oh, he killed the Filler. He gets the kill.
Oh.
Beautiful play right there. 3 for 0 and a 4v5.
What a game. Back and forth here. Echo Fox, they get the pick that they wanted. They start up the Baron, but 100 Thieves just destroy them in the pit. Ryu has done such a good job on Vladimir, getting his burst damage down, healing all the way back up with his ultimate. Baron's at 5,000 health, and this is going to be theirs unless the Israel...
Oh, a little too early. It was all in fog of war, but he tried valiantly. Either way, 100 Thieves win the team fight 4v5 to secure the Baron. They're up 2,000 gold.
Let's take another look at this. It all started with a classic Zoe pick here. He was actually on a ward, so that's an easy bubble to land. And once the bubble lands on the support, Damonte's able to go in, finish that one off. He did use his Ignite for that. Then they all group up here. And as you said, it's actually some desynced teleports. It was Ryu's that came in first.
Yeah.
And this play from Ryu, 1v5 on the Vladimir, goes in, chunks everyone at the pit while Huni is trying to deal with the rest of the 100 Thieves there. Then he Zonias, he heals all the way back up with his Emo Plague and the Empowered Q after getting out, making it look very good in the 4v5 play there from 100 Thieves. And Someday, once again, apprehends Huni, follows him with his phase rush, by the way. Able to catch up, gets the auto, slick movement there down to kill the barrel so they can't get the slow and repark on the passive. And now we're in a world where 100 Thieves have Baron buff. They've got the fully funneled Xayah. Someday's playing out of his mind, split pushing down bottom side, and they've got pressure in 2 lanes.
I'm a little shocked Altec did 0 damage in the team fight, considering he didn't actually die during it. Managed to land 0 skill shots. That's definitely a rough thing for Echo Fox. The push comes in, goes for the charm, gets Fang a little bit, gonna flash right back out, stay alive. Someday actually a bit low. Huni does a good job of that. Trade gets another 200 HP actually. With Drowsy coming in, it's gonna be a taunt away, but this could be a repeat fight. As the cannon barrage comes down, looking for a barrel chain. Aftermoo only takes a little bit of damage, but the chase in, look at the damage output. Altec nearly takes him down, but an exhaust buys enough space as Someday recalls out. Rival for 100 Thieves. 5-3 now in turrets, though. They have really opened up this mid to late game.
Yeah, and they're going to recall, get all these minions on top side. It's a pretty big stacked wave here for Someday. That might be enough for him to finish probably GA next, I'd say, since he's already got BF Sword and Stopwatch. He actually never used the Stopwatch, but GA would go a long ways for a Darius in a team fight. If he actually ends up in one, that is. Baron buff, though, still a minute, so they've got some pushing left to do here for 100 Thieves. Echo Fox, their main goal, if you're looking at it from this side, defense, defense, defense. Damonte is going to be throwing out, those bubbles to try and get a pick on someone and chunk them. Yep. But most of it is going to be around clearing out these minions, putting a stop to the 100 Thieves push, and trying to hold their Baron power play to as little gain as possible. Problem is, it's very difficult to hold outer turrets, so they might want to make their stand just at the inhibitor turrets. A lot easier to hold on to.
They're gonna have to try as it's down to only the inhibitors themselves, and still 40 seconds on Baron means a couple of waves still to play with. Big chunk after he's at half HP. Drowsy gonna hit the Xayah. The barrel's not gonna land much of anything. Good auto there by Ryu, prevents any of that from happening out, and he's gonna keep walking away. Takes a bit of damage, but stays alive. Next wave comes through once again. Looking for turret damage, but repeatedly afraid of barrel chains. Despite that ward over the wall, it's a very good ward right in front of Dardoch that will spot the barrels. They still have to respect the chains that Huni can put down.
Yeah. Barrel explosion into the back line could still be devastating. If you chunk out the Vladimir before he's even able to get his push into the team fight, then he runs the risk of not being able to get off his Zonias in time for all the healing to come in, but definitely a dangerous situation here for Echo Fox, even with Gangplank scaling, Zoe looking for one-shots. They've had a very hard time in coordinating here against 100 Thieves, who have been one step ahead as far as the team play.
Huni walked by Vladimir in the brush, but Ryu didn't think he could win that duel, so he let him go, but actually knew about those moves, and now Andis here, so now it's a 2v1. Gangplank can outplay with Orange, but he's going to face check into this one, puts a barrel down, doesn't see him with it, but they went the other way either way.
It's definitely very dark, as you can see from the vision toggling here, and in Echo Fox's favor. They don't have any wards in this bottom side, so Huni being very safe around the red side of their jungle, knows that there's a possibility. There's a bunch of thieves waiting in the brush to try and take them down. And it's very difficult for Echo Fox to move out of their own lane territory here. You can see they have to go in squads, in numbers, else they get picked off. Here we go, though. Ryu flank.
Play Ryu slow by the barrel, but only to find one flash him. It doesn't get a whole lot of targets. This could be a really great setup for Echo Fox in the fight there. Somebody walks the front line. Shen coming on top. They're going to pull off Ando, though. But 1-for-1 as Trundle falls as well. 4v4. Now somebody still watching the front line. Goes for Altec. Can't quite get him. Demonte's going to try to outplay this. Has a Spell-Thief flash. Someday has a GA up still as well, though. And Cody Sun untouched. A 1-for-1 trade. And back out they go, clearing the minions.
Definitely intense one, as 1 minute and 40-some seconds on both of our big neutral objectives, Freak. And right now, 100 Thieves just want to keep Echo Fox inside the base so they can't set up vision beforehand. If they can continue to pressure them and keep them inside, once this spawns here, it's probably going to be a trade. Here we go. Huni actually got a lot of damage down to Rio before he got into the fight. Like we were talking about, you can take away a lot of the threat if they took him down early. Then he's forced to play a lot more defensively. But even so, Cody Sun got the counter kill there on the Dardoch during the time where they lost Anda, and it was a 1-for-1. And being a 1-for-1, that still keeps Echo Fox on the defensive, and they haven't had time to get out to either Baron Pit or Elder Dragon. We'll see how they play this, if it's actually going to be a trade of these big objectives, or if 100 Thieves can force Echo Fox to give it up.
Well, right now you can see Echo Fox trying to get the vision back. The map was completely dark for them in the river up until just now. This time they finally get a couple of wards in the upper river, but you mentioned trying to trade objectives or something. Echo Fox had been on the back foot. This time around, they've actually pushed 100 Thieves away from them. So actually now it's Echo Fox taking over vision control around this Baron Pit. They've not gotten rid of all the vision. There is a couple of wards. As you can see a vision ward, a control ward rather, for 100 Thieves in that top left corner. And oh, that's a heartbreak. They're not going to get that damage,
okay.
but
got another one.
Round two.
Cash in, get all your bonus gold for all the individual monsters that you kill in there, by the way. That's why Raptor Camp feels so good for Gangplank to steal away. Here we go, though. Once again, chasing into the fog of war.
Gets found out. The charm's going to come in before Black Shield does. A 1-for-0 at the very start and top on the back line. Fang has to pop the zone. He's going to build some space with the ultimate, but could still drop True Shot Barrage with a bit of damage. Demonte hits Afro low, and Astro respects Someday. Barrel Chain comes through, down a half HP onto him. No bind going to land, and they've got to watch out because Zaya is still a menace on 4 items right now. Someday holds the front, finds damage on a Huni. It is going to pop the Resurrection, but in comes Vladimir looking for more plays. Can they knock it out? Puts the dodge zone down. No, they get that one kill, and Ryu, he's going to be sleeping without a defensive tool left alive. Big Chunk comes across a shutdown. Echo Fox win the team fight.
They are able to outplay their 4v5 situation here after the kill had already gone through. And now Echo Fox have got themselves out of such a tight situation. Still, though, they don't have control over the neutral objectives. They still are dealing with a lack of vision, and Altex in a dangerous spot.
Oh, he's going to run right into it. Jumps away, pops QSS, stays alive. But now they know the rest are there because he has fallen asleep. And that's another pickoff, but now watch out for Someday. He lost GA, but he's not going to lose that kill. A rampage for Darius.
Teleport's gotta keep track of these. Huni still has his for Echo Fox, and Altec will also have his when he respawns in 40 seconds. Elder Dragon's already started up, though, and 100 Thieves have to answer.
Well, the smite is on Cody Sun. He's got Flash, he's got no QSS, but he's got a lot of tools here. Someday in the front line. He's going to get Standard Net on top of him as well. Going to fall asleep, and now after move. Gonna look for the next play to try to burst down the Darius. He's gonna get the big heal, the plus 381. Can he get more? He's gonna try. Stopwatch buys some time. Dardoch's not gonna have much chance to do much of this one. Someday finds a bit more damage. He gets the first kill. Grabs some honey fruit. He will not be killed. Looks for Fang. Kites right back as Ignite will not quite take him down. Another fight this time. A 1-for-0 for 100 Thieves, and now they turn to Elder Dragon. And Cody Sun does not have smite, but he has plenty of damage.
On 100 Thieves, once again, come up with an answer here. They put a stop to Echo Fox, and that fight might be the one that breaks the base, Freak. That fight results in Elder Dragon, which gives you control over the Baron they can easily take now. And let's take another look at how it started out. Echo Fox kind of corral themselves inside this Elder Dragon. They get a lot of burst early onto Someday, but Hysterics pops and he gets the heal. Immediately goes into the stopwatch activation there. As we said, though, Elder Dragon will make Baron very trivial for them to take. And this is a double reward for 100 Thieves to push with afterwards.
This is gigantic. The lead now almost 8,000 gold. Double team-wide buffs on the squad. 100 Thieves going to look for the mid lane push to maybe close this one out. Second time in a row, they've taken a huge team fight on the back end of a team fight loss. Before it was the 4 for 3, then they got the TP flank, got 4 in a row back in that right-hand side lane, caught back up in the game. This one here, they lost the mid lane fight, but they came back in. Someday got the pick, pushed the rest out, and it turned into double neutral objectives. Absolutely huge here.
Such a roller coaster here for both teams in this game. 100 Thieves, for the majority of it, were trying to counterplay, but Echo Fox now are the ones that have to find themselves with a big defensive play once again. Look at this gold difference. For up 25 minutes, they were the ones making the play, but Anda pops his ult, doesn't actually go in.
Maybe he's trying to bait out the black shield and then flash for another target. He had the ability to do so, and Fang held his nerve. Wave clear comes through, though, as the mid lane inhibitor turret falls all the same. That's a decent objective, but now here comes round 2 with a new minion wave. Not something Echo Fox can defend against the double super buff. So right. Up the inhibitor.
Bubble comes out from the side. No one going to be hit, though. 100 Thieves slowly retreat. Bottom side is already pushing. Top side is moving for Echo Fox, and you know that's a very big wave. But for that to mean anything in this game, Echo Fox would have to hold here on bottom side. And this is a Baron and Elder Dragon buffed up 100 Thieves team.
All right. Push continues on the bot lane. A quick split on the top side. Is Ryu going to channel? And okay. Goes underneath the pillar. He's going to stay alive. But now on the bottom side, of course, with the resources spent towards Ryu. Trying to kill out the Vladimir. Doesn't have to burn his flash. Just gets away. Bottom inhibitor now dead as well. 100 Thieves taking down 2/3 of the base.
Pretty big advantage now for 100 Thieves. With super minions going to be slowly building up, they have time to fully reset after this. Spend all of their money, and then all they have to focus on is holding the siege on top side, because the super minions will do all the work for them on mid and bottom. Eventually, someone from Echo Fox inside the base will have to defend the other area, and that's when 100 Thieves can make their final push. Echo Fox, again, they need to use some control wards, some sweepers. Actually,
oh, they've got 1 million damage there. Cody's son, Godlike Huni, oversteps, and I think just found out by Anda and Cody's son.
All right, Ryu's already got the minion wave on top side, pushing for 100 Thieves. That pick onto Huni might have been the last little bit of hope extinguished from the side of Echo Fox. They have 4 members now that have to make a pick right now with a bubble, with a binding, and kill someone off before 100 Thieves all show up at their door.
35 seconds of a massive power play here. Not only 5v4, but Baron buff still on as well. And here comes the push with the top side. Echo Fox is going to go back for their Nexus turrets to push back the Cody Sun and the duo. They're going to give up top inhibitor, and Ryu actually coming down someday as well to help make sure this fight can even happen. They might just go for the hard dive. As the first turret falls, second as well, the Nexus is open, and now for the team fight, 5v4. Big damage to the back line. Ryu taking down everyone that he possibly can. Dardock's health bar running a bit low. Cody Sun dives in towards the fountain, tries to get a couple of kills, at least get the health bars low, but the Nexus, it will fall, and 100 Thieves will take down Echo Fox.
100 Thieves in a first place in the North American LCS. All alone up there, and they will hold that one for a little bit longer into the day.
Yeah.
Until CLG and Team Liquid play their games. But man, what an exciting opener. Especially Someday. If you think about how the early stages of this game went for Someday, Huni constantly bullying him under turret. Up 10 CS, forces backs early on, forces him to miss out on these minion waves. Then Afromu makes the big roam up top side. They turn around the kills, and 100 Thieves with constant punishment on Echo Fox's oversteps.
So 100 Thieves have cleared the first round robin, their first 9 opponents. They'll do it all again starting tomorrow. Only dropping 3 games in the process. Golden Guardians, CLG, Team Liquid. Their 3 losses, they beat everyone else. Over the next 4.5 weeks, they'll do that once again, and we'll see what their playoff structure looks like from there. But they're the Spring Split finalists. They have now kind of guaranteed at least a share of first place in the end of the first round robin. They have remained a very top team. It's a team that was built this year, came together, players from all different rosters, even had another roster swap here.
It's an organization that just came together.
Well, exactly. And that's kind of what I mean, right, is absolutely insane success so far for 100 Thieves. Finalists in first place right now. Sky feels like the limit for them.
It's honestly really exciting looking forward to, because I feel like 100 Thieves were the team that really embraced the changes to the meta and the funnel style of playing the game the most. And with changes on the horizon for that style, will they continue to adapt? Will they just make changes to that style and keep it going? Or will they abandon it?
Yeah.
It's definitely going to be fun to see as we track them towards playoffs and once again see them at the top of the bracket.
Yeah, there's going to be a huge question for Week 6. Like, the metagame is going to change once again, and I know that it sometimes happens a lot, sometimes happens a little during a split, and 100 Thieves have been good with this one. We will see what it looks like for them in Week 6 and beyond. But for more on that victory, let's send it down to Avali and the Dunk Master for 100 Thieves.
Thanks, guys. Someday, congratulations on that win. Coming into today, a lot of people were hyping up the fight between you and Hooney. Did today's lane matchup go the way that you expected?
Echofox is pretty much play around the top, and Hooney is one of the best top laner in the NA, so I was nervous, but I believe that I could play better than Hooney, so I'm pretty glad.
And we see a lot of success with the funnel comp for 100 Thieves. Why do you think your team runs that comp so well?
We already mastered funnel strategy last week, so we didn't play much in the screen, but we already knew how to play this funnel, so we played it.
And are you guys worried at all about the next patch that's kind of going to try to nerf a little bit of the funnel strat?
Pretty sad we cannot funnel anymore, but I think if we were science, you can still play funnel.
And we're entering the second round robin. You guys are going to face everyone all over again. Who do you think are the biggest threats and maybe potential contenders for playoffs and even worlds?
Everyone can be the best team, so I'm not sure now.
Not sure yet, but this is where you say you guys are going to be on top.
Yes, I am.
Well, someday, congratulations again. And for more on the game, let's hear from the State Farm Analyst Desk.
Thank you very much, Avli. First off, we got to welcome Meteos to the desk to help us break down the games as they fall today. But 100 Thieves moving to 6-3 to close out their first round robin, and to do it against Echofox, that's going to feel real good. Mark, I'm coming to you first because you had laid out the win conditions.
Where'd they go?
I don't know, man.
They're also lost conditions.
Yeah, I was going to say Echofox. I don't know. They must have been lost in the mail or something.
So 3 of their 5 wins were on funnel. You give them funnel again after Golden Guardian showed that they struggle when they're not on funnel. Vladimir for Ryu has been probably his best pick this split. Cody-san getting the Xayah. I don't know why the Kindred of Onda is scarier. Like, I know it's a strong pick, but you just saw them struggle against this. I don't know why you gave them most of their best champions.
Yeah, and that's like, why ban Kindred? Why ban Taliyah both? When you could, if you wanted to, end up banning just one of them and you're kind of guaranteeing you're going to get the other, or ban Zoe. Because, like, Dardoch's Kindred, or even his Taliyah, I'm like, I want to see those. I want to see him on aggressive junglers that can make plays early, and then he gets kind of relegated to the Trundle because they've kind of pinched themselves with the Graves ban coming through from 100 Thieves, too.
All right, but let's be honest. You know, we're upset about the way the draft went. Right. But the way that the game went in the early portions of it was entirely Echofox favored, and the funnel of all things was the feeding aspect of 100 Thieves.
Yeah. Oh, for sure. I think that Dardoch actually had really clever pathing here, and I think it was partially on 100 Thieves as well to not notice that he was in that bottom jungle, and they decided to go aggressive while Dardoch was there, which is a pretty big mistake because generally if you play funnel and your funneler dies and blows summoners, you're at a pretty big disadvantage right off the bat. So definitely good play by Fox, good pathing by Dardoch, and I think that 100 Thieves should not have been fighting there.
Yeah, it came back for seconds too. The pillar into they knew the flash was down, into the bubble again, and that should have been just like a complete shutdown of the funnel, and it was. What saved the game was Afromu.
Exactly. So we talk about where the funnel maybe being an advantage and a comfortable play style for 100 Thieves. They found their advantages in the side lanes and Meteos. Talk to me about map plays.
Oh, I think Afromu was huge this game. If your funnel falls behind early, you're probably going to lose the game, but Afromu actually managed to save this game by 2v2 killing bottom in a unfavorable matchup, and then also roaming topside to help with this invade, which shuts down Dardoch, gets him killed, and then also sets up this opportunity for Someday to 1v1 Hooney, because now that insane jungle pressure isn't there. So I'm pretty sure this whole game got turned around.
And he got the flash from Huni when he tried to dodge the initial Shen taunt from before.
Right.
So it completely set them up to win the rest of the map.
It's pretty rare you have a game where a Shen wins your team the game before level 6. So huge props to Aftermoo, who played amazing in this game.
Yeah, definitely an inverse funnel where your funnel falls behind, but your side lanes win when normally you don't have jungle pressure and those lose. So
Yeah.
it was a bit of a strange game.
That's becoming a 100 Thieves classic, though. Like someday in that game where he was just getting fed, and it was like, he's not even the funneler, and he has way more gold than the funneler.
There was a point he was down like 55 CS to 24. And then the next time I looked at the scoreboard, specifically at Someday, he's like 7-1-5 with even CS. I don't know how this guy clawed his way back into the game and ultimately was in a position to win the split push against Huni.
I think Someday had a super good game. He was put in a situation where he wasn't really given any resources. He was, you know, when you're playing a side lane with funnel against a team playing standard, you're going to get ganked a lot. So he was under a lot of pressure, fell behind, but he was able to take what little he was given and just make a lot with it. He was getting like solo kills. He's getting just tons of pressure off.
Then he got the Shen ultis on him too to like constantly create plays.
And this is why we're hyping up at the beginning of the segment, Day, just because he's been doing this without much resources. Like I know Afro went up there a couple times to help turn his lane around, but after that he was pretty much by himself making a lot of those plays. There were a lot of skirmishes around him, and he always played them very well.
But if we're looking for a star on 100 Thieves from this game in particular, I think we got to put our eyes on the mid laner, not playing in the mid lane this time around, but Ryu on this Vladimir.
But I love it. Whenever I see marksman players on Vladimir, I'm like, no, dude, I don't want that. When you have a mid lane player who knows the champion, the intricacies, positioning, how to TP flank, that's what I'm looking for. And that is what Ryu has. Exactly.
I think Ryu is a phenomenal player who's been getting a lot of flack when 100 Thieves falls short, and I'm glad he was able to have a game where he could really show off his strengths, which is just creating advantages and helping his team get ahead. From that first 2v2 kill bottom to a lot of these flanks, including this Baron stop, where Ryu pretty much 1v5'd here. Ryu definitely won this game for his team.
Yeah, and it made it look Altec look a little silly. You're on Ezreal, this champion that's usually super safe, and in this fight in particular, he got 0 damage off because he was just running for his life the entire time, and that's a huge problem for Ezreal, who's supposed to be super safe.
It's pretty impressive to not do any damage on Ezreal when all of your abilities have like 1,000 range and AoE.
Right.
So I definitely think some blame has to be pointed at Altec. You know, you're on a poke comp, you're playing Ezreal, and you did less damage than almost everyone else in the game. He didn't build MR early to survive Vlad's all-ins, and he was just kind of a non-factor.
Let's talk about the mindset of pros and on the stage, and you can speak to this because obviously you've been in many intense scenarios where maybe you're making a split-second decision, you back, you're in the shop. I imagine that there is, to some degree, a formula that you end up falling into, right? Well, this is the optimal build on this champion normally, but as you just mentioned here, the threat was coming from Ryu. How should Altec have better adjusted the way he was playing and or buying items in this game to make sure he was living to deal the damage?
I definitely think that Altec could have altered his build this game. I think that a lot of Ezreals just get so set on like, okay, I need my tier, I need my Trinity, my Mirror Mana, but if you're just getting killed repeatedly by your lane opponent and pressuring nothing, then you have to change it. I would have really liked to see a Hex Drinker picked up. He did get Merc Treads, but it was like after he was 0-2 or 0-3, so I think Altec could have just done a lot more this game.
Yeah, he had Merc Treads, QSS, Executioner's Calling.
Eventually the MR came in, but it was 30 minutes into the game, and your point is maybe identifying that, look, the only actual threat to me in a team fight is the magic damage. While, yes, there's a very strong Darius and a very strong Xayah, they're not actually getting to the backline here. So the only damage I'm taking is magic damage. That's what I got to look to reduce to be more effective in these fights.
Yeah, and this whole team for Echo Fox, there's a lot of people you can point to. You can look at Huni, you know, getting totally turned around on after having a great start to the game on GP. That's usually the hardest part, and then it went downhill from there. So the draft as well, there's a lot of things you can point to that they should have done better.
Final thoughts.
You know who you can't point at is Demonte, because he actually played incredibly well on the Zoe.
Okay.
And it was actually a little tragic that he didn't win the game because he was performing so well from the first part of the game to the ending where he was making big picks, right? He led up to that pick that they attempted a Baron off of that got 100 Thieves back in the game.
It was the battle of the two mage players, Ryu versus Demonte, but Ryu comes out on top. Meteos, thank you, of course, for joining us. He will be here for all 5 games today, so stick around for these post-game segments. Game 1 is in the books. When we return, Blabber makes his debut on Cloud9 versus Team Liquid. You won't want to miss it.
Is that even the right target? The Cody Sun ignited. The flash over for Demonte. Easy kill picked up. 400 gold richer. And Anna has to run away. Burns the flash. W should be up fairly soon, but not in time. Oh, he can get more. That's his. No!
I'm so boosted.
And actually just hit it a little bit too early. Jump forward. Auto gets the middle. Someday wins the fight.
I can chase if you flash.
Yeah,
Go flash. 2 seconds. 2 seconds.
죽지만 마봐.
One second. I'm gonna top you. Get to Zaya. Nice.
Someday still on the chase for Hoodie.
Oh, he killed the pillar. He gets the kill. Beautiful play right there.
I'm going to help. So close.
He's gonna sleep. No flash. He has no flash. Go. Oh, nice, guys.
Big damage to the back line. Ryu taking down everyone they possibly can. The 100 Thieves will take down Echo Fox.
Welcome to Assist of the Week, presented by State Farm. Since we know the importance of lending a hand, we want to highlight players and plays that help the team bring home the big W. If you have a favorite assist from this week that you want us to highlight, tweet the clip with the hashtag NALCS and the hashtag State Farm Assist, and we may feature it in a future episode. So get out there and bring some support.